Good day to everyone. I am Claniel Cuñado, the presenter of Group 6, and our topic is about freedom of speech and internet content regulation. The internet has fast become a key instrument for the exercise of the right to freedom of expression. It combines within one medium both the right to receive as well as the right to express and disseminate information, ideas, and opinions, be it in the form of writing or through audio or video. The Internet serves various functions. It is simultaneously a publishing tool and a communication tool allowing millions around the world to communicate instantaneously at the cost of a local code. The Internet serves as a huge multimedia library of information on topics ranging from human rights to deep-sea exploration, and it is being used as an important education tool, with universities offering courses over the Internet. Governments use it to make information available, and even public health services have gone online to provide self-help information. Traditional media such as newspaper and radio stations are also going online, thus enriching the internet content, providing a bridge between the paper world and cyberspace and ensuring worldwide access to local papers. In addition, the internet has developed an important entertainment function, providing, for example, online movies, games, or music events. It has also developed a crucial commercial function with more and more businesses trading over the internet, selling everything from computers to holidays to flowers. As has been noted, the internet is as diverse as human thought. However, it is precisely because of its diversity of content and ease of use that the internet has become controversial. As with any other tool, it can be used for different purposes. Despite all the benefits and good contents, the internet can also be used to facilitate crime. In addition, because of global nature of the internet, there are problems with regard to content. For example, material that is perfectly legal in the country where it is uploaded may be illegal in the country where it is downloaded, for example because it is considered to be obscene or politically subversive. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds by any means. Freedom of speech and the right of freedom of expression applies to ideas of all kinds, including those that may be deeply offensive, but it comes with responsibilities and it can be legitimately restricted. Freedom of speech is recognized as a human right under Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The right to freedom of speech allows individuals to express themselves without government interference or regulation. Freedom of speech in the Internet. It is not simply a case of same old issue, new technology. With free speech and the Internet, with its low startup costs and global reach, the Internet enables almost anyone in the West, in theory, to speak and be heard around the world, as well as others' speech. Internet speech has potentially far greater impact than speech through ordinary media. It has the potential to be the genuine voice of the grassroots, uncontrolled by any media organizations. It has the potential to communicate in video, audio, pictures, and text, as well as reach far more people than the biggest satellite TV station or best-read international newspaper. It has also the potential for people to interact, uniting disparate movements in distant countries or enabling them to add their own information or support. The principle of freedom of expression and human rights must not only apply to traditional media, but also to the internet and all types of emerging media platforms, which will contribute to the development, democracy, and dialogue. UNESCO assumes its responsibility of promoting freedom of expression on internet and related rights such as privacy and has integrated it to its regular program. The organization explores the changing legal and regulatory framework of internet and provides member states with policy recommendations aiming to foster a conducive environment to freedom of expression and privacy on internet. Providing access. The growing importance of the internet means that access has become an important public issue in terms of both restrictions as well as measures to promote and even provide access. In a number of countries, public policy actually has the effect of limiting internet access, for example, by requiring users to register. Such access restrictions may be imposed by the state or even by private parties. There have been a number of cases where internet service providers, or known as ISPs, have acted independently to refuse access to certain users whom they deem undesirable. It seems like people have become very carefree in the internet and some are abusing their rights for free speech. In order to prevent or reduce the contents that goes beyond the freedom of expression, the government has made these following decisions and actions. Regulating internet contents. One of the biggest strengths of the internet, which is its variety of content, has simultaneously become a matter of some controversy. Governments in both Islamic and Western states have voiced great concern over the free availability on the internet of pornography. The use of internet for criminal purposes has also been cause of concern. The use of internet to promote pedophile activities, for example, constitutes a very real threat to the human rights of children and may legitimately be restricted. However, any content regulation must not fall below the standards set by international human rights law and must take into account the special nature of the internet. Content restrictions are often seen as censorship, and the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down various legislative proposals to restrict the availability of obscene or indecent material for this reason. Legislating internet content. Any legislation aimed at regulating internet content should furthermore recognize that the internet is not like any other medium. In many cases, it will not be possible to extend general norms to the internet or to apply the standards that are normally applied to, for example, broadcasting, to internet content. The best known example of legislation that attempted to extend offline standards to online conduct has been the United States Communications Decency Act, or CDA, signed into law by the U.S. President in February 1996 and struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court in June 1997. The main purpose of the CDA was to restrict access by minors to patently offensive depictions of sexual or excretory activities available over the internet. In Europe, North America, and Australia, there has been a considerable backlash against government attempts to regulate internet contents. Conflict of laws. One of the most important distinguishing features of the internet is its global nature. Something that is uploaded in a small room in Bishkek, for example, is immediately accessible throughout the world. There are no globally agreed rules on the internet content. Generally speaking, every country is free to enforce its own standards, provided that these do not fall below the threshold set by the international human rights law. The law is flustered and in flux over the internet. There are no international laws governing internet use. At present, different countries' different laws apply to internet communications and content, although there are problems tracing just who is responsible for sites, particularly when they originate from and are hosted in foreign countries. ISP liability. The question whether internet service providers or ISPs should be held liable for content that is published by their subscriber has recently become controversial. ISPs argue that because they provide access to thousands or even millions of users, usually as purely commercial service, it is impossible for them to monitor the content of their servers, let alone police them. At present, different measures have been taken in different countries, and even within some countries there is a different rule depending on the nature of the case, civil or criminal. In civil cases, in the United Kingdom, ISPs are liable for third-party postings if they are aware of the content of all the materials and fail to take reasonable steps to remove it. Others argue that there should be some form of liability if an ISP has been warned that there is illegal content on their servers but they fail to take actions. Technology-aided regulations. These are the types of actions that are installed in the system that can track your internet usage and take actions if necessary. First is the ratings. Put simply, website rating is like giving film certificates. Site developers may rate their sites, and a family may decide to set their browsing software so it only accesses sites below a certain rating. Ratings are like standards set by a user, and that standard will limit the user from accessing contents that are beyond his given rating. Second one is PICS. In December 1997, a 200-strong internet industry group agreed to accept a common standard of labeling called PICS, or the Platform for Internet Content Selection. PICS was designed in particular to help family users prevent their children from accessing material like pornography on internet. Third is filtering. Filters actually cut access to sites. Most censoring groups and governments use automatic software agents to scan the internet, searching for clues to a site's content before they filter out access to these sites. Other organizations, like Surfwatch, employ teams of researchers with specialist knowledge of pornography or hate speech to track down and ban offensive material. Industry of self-regulation. Because of the many difficulties associated with mandatory content regulation of the kind described above, self-regulation has been hailed by many Western countries as the answer. The Internet Watch Foundation, or IWF, was founded in 1996, grouping the two major British ISP associations, ISPA and LINX, with the police and the government. It particularly aims to check the use of the internet to transmit illegal material like child pornography through encouraging the classifications of internet sites. In addition, there is an evolving trend of industry stealth blocking, where ISPs take a decision to block certain sites without notifying their customers or the sites involved. Self-regulation at home. The least intrusive mechanism for controlling what appears on your computer screen is through self-regulation at home. Filtering mechanisms can be installed on home computers. Instead of imposing strict controls on what individuals can upload and make available on the web, filtering software would leave the choice to the user. A concerned parent can simply install some software on the computer that filters out and blocks access to any content he or she deems unsuitable to children, based on parameters fed in by the user. In addition, there now exist several self-styled family-friendly ISPs, such as Via Family Online, who advertise on the basis that they can provide a filtered internet service. In conclusion, the internet offers great potential for the exercise of the right to freedom of expression and freedom of information. However, like any tool for expression, it can be used in good and in bad ways. Attempts over the last few years to regulate internet content, as well as access to the internet, have tended to focus on restricting the availability of certain content and, in some cases, restricting access to the internet altogether. The internet should not be used by governments as an excuse for introducing new technologies of control or for curtailing existing liberties. Although the right to freedom of expression can be restricted, the circumstances under which this may be done have to be narrowly circumscribed. This is the case for expression on the internet as it is in any other forum. Given the ad hoc nature of many national initiatives, it is necessary that international mechanisms give a clear indication of the extent to which regulation of the internet is compatible with the international legal guarantee of right to freedom of expression.